Tires, tires, tires. That was the story of Bristol, and I had a really good time watching that race. That was an exciting one.
I was thrilled watching that. That was awesome. I did not expect it. Tires made it just such an exciting race to watch. But before we get into NASCAR, how's it going, man? I haven't talked to you in so long.
Yeah, the last time we really talked, that we were down. I was down in Alabama trying to get us a little setup for some of these races coming up. Um, get us a nice little RV or camper, but let's just say that's in the works. It's the, all signs are trending towards yes. So, good news there. Just all around a good week. We had St. Patrick's Day last weekend. I actually just cracked open a nice cold Guinness that I had as a leftover from the weekend, and man, it's just good to be back and good to be talking about such an exciting race. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been both traveling a lot for business purposes, whether for our podcast or our individual jobs. But yeah, last weekend was awesome for St. Patty's. Got some good stories. Got pretty drunk, and
That'll
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
That'll happen.
Bro, at this one bar, there's an all-out brawl. Like this guy was like flashing like 4 grand or something in his hand, and I guess he just got his ass whooped because I think he was just like flaunting it. And you know what I realized? Like we were over like watching it, and nobody like helped like rescue him or save him. Like 4 people ganged up on him, which like I don't care what he was doing. Like that's kind of messed up. And then he was just like lying on the ground. Nobody ran over to help him at all. Like the whole bar. And this is like an
And you were the
outdoor.
guy sitting there
And
watching him?
I was like, man, it's been like a good couple minutes and nobody went over there. So I was the first one over there. And then
You did
like,
something?
yeah, and I was like, huh, maybe we're getting to that age that we have to be the responsible people.
You're waiting for a
Because I look
bouncer or
around and like
someone's
everybody's
dad.
just like 21. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's our job now.
That's so funny. So did you stepped in and you grabbed the guy?
Yeah, he was like he was out cold, and then finally like a bouncer came over, and my girlfriend's a nurse, so like she ran over too, and she was like asking if he was okay and everything, because like she's like responsible even at like outside of her job, like she's the one person that could help if anything were like bad happened to him. So yeah, that was our St. Patty's weekend.
Yeah, did you get any of that 4Gs there?
No, no, it was gone. I don't know where it went. I don't know if the people took it or if he stuffed it in his pocket quick, but yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, that is messed up. Yeah, I had a much more civil weekend. But sure it was a lot of fun. But let's go into the fun we had around the race because I would say that this is the most exciting short track race I've ever watched in my life. At least on a professional level. Like going to a short track, um, like a local one, is pretty fun. But this one was just madness, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's fitting because March Madness and everything. It was
oh,
definitely, yeah,
it
didn't
was
even
true
see
March
that one.
Madness. That was a good bridge there. Yeah, there were some crazy games. We're recording on the day after the tournament just took off, and already some madness in that realm too. But I don't really know anything
Yeah, my
about it.
bracket's messed up already, so
As long
that's
as I
good
beat
there.
you, it's fine.
Whatever, I'm cooking your ass in NASCAR, so it's fine.
That's true. We'll get to the updated points here at the end of the episode. It's not looking too pretty. But let's get back to this one. Tires. Goodyear is at a loss. I mean, they came back and just said we have to understand what happened. That was their press conference. They were just saying we have to understand this. They didn't know what to say. For those of you that didn't watch, Tires just got eaten up. Like most aggressive tire wear you probably ever saw. Um, NASCAR even had to make a quick decision and allow for an extra set of tires for every team mid race because they saw what was happening. That no one would even finish the race if they didn't give them more tires. and that was it. If you could save them, then you were there at the end of the race.
Yeah, and we talked about this last episode with the thicker tires coming into this week, and nobody knew kind of how they were gonna work, and apparently they didn't work that good. But honestly, it was awesome. I hope like they make tires even worse going forward because this made it so exciting. Made it more strategic. You didn't know who was gonna like kill a tire and get knocked out of the race or when people were gonna pit. It just made it much more exciting. It was sweet, and hopefully Goodyear keeps making shittier tires going forward.
Goodyear, we would love to endorse your product, by
Do
the
you,
way. But yeah, we love that this was, this was one of those races that no one could predict, and that's what we're missing in NASCAR. That's what's making this the most exciting sport is when these guys. I mean, how many thousands and thousands and thousands of laps have these guys run in these cars? But when you throw something else at them, something that's unexpected, that's when you have the excitement. And I think that happened in two things here at Bristol. One, we weren't expecting the tires to do that. And two, the traction compound that they put on the inside lane, that screwed up everyone because they put that traction down day of race, Sunday morning. People qualified and practiced on a completely different racetrack.
yeah,
So
yeah, I don't understand that one. They should have at least had time to practice on it, but
no, I like it. I like the different it throw them something different. Like I would love to see, let's say the Roval or some of these other like road courses that can be modified. Make them qualify in a track that's similar, but then throw a chicane in, or move one of the turns. Just change some of the things because you qualify your car. I mean, you're having a good car when you get the pole at one of these places, but that doesn't mean you should win the race. I mean,
yeah,
that should give you an advantage, but it's like Survivor. You play one contest and you get an advantage for the next one, but it's a totally different contest. I'd love to see stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, NASCAR is all about skill, adaptability, and strategy. So, I mean, that adaptability comes into play there. If you can make that happen, but fair.
Yeah, in a fair way, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. Like, just so that everyone is going through the same stuff, of course. So, I mean, everyone had the same tires, everyone had to race on the same traction, but nobody got to practice on it. So, that's why I like it.
Do you think this hurts Goodyear at all?
No,
Like the brand in general? Like
I don't think
now
so.
people are going to be like, oh, well, Goodyear tires, they just got shredded up this last race. Maybe I shouldn't go with the Goodyear brand for my next car
I
replacement.
don't think so, and I think it's because when you talk about the racing, any of these manufacturers, their racing products are so different than their consumer products. Like you don't want to go buy a Chevy Camaro because of how good Chase Elliott might be driving. They're completely different cars.
I mean, that's why they do it, though. That's
Of
why
course.
they brand the car Chevy Camaro or the racing fuel, Sunoco
Yeah,
racing fuel. Like they want that brand recognition. So you don't want your brand behind a tire that just got shredded.
that's true. Although they're they're so different.
Yeah,
I
I know.
mean,
I know. I think most people would know, but like the consumer in mind that never seen NASCAR before and they just saw in a news
like on a
headline
headline.
like, "Oh, these tires were trash this weekend."
Yeah. I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. I wouldn't think that it would have anything to do with your purchasing, but that'd be something interesting to know. I want to follow up with that. Like, there wasn't a lot of information put out, and I think we're gonna see that over the next few weeks because they're not gonna just leave that one go. There's
No,
gonna be a
no.
lot of research done
I mean,
from
I
the
think
teams and Goodyear.
yeah, and the racing fan definitely wants tires to be like that going forward, but Goodyear is definitely like, no, we cannot have this happen again. So Goodyear, you could expect to make better tires.
Right, right. Another cool thing would be don't fill all the gas tanks. Like all the gas cans, you just put a random amount, and it's luck of the draw. You
One's
don't
salt
know how much.
water and one's racing fuel.
Or one's like a
Pick your
quarter
poison.
full, one's half full, one's all the way full of fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Salt
And then
water would be cool too.
every pit stop, you give like a few select drivers like a banana peel that they get to throw at another
All
driver.
right, now we're getting into Mario Kart. No, what would be even cooler is if, well, no, we don't want to endorse drinking and driving. But I was gonna say, uh, like, some guys have to take a shot. Like, if they spin out, they have to take a shot.
That'd be funny. That'd be really cool. Like that Rough and Rowdy by Barstool. Like do something like that but for NASCAR. Like completely different but the same.
Absolutely, that would be awesome. But other than the big headlines that we already talked about, uh, great race, 54 lead changes, and the last lead change was the one that counted, and of course that was Denny Hamlin, who had a really fast car all day.
Yep. And I think that was the most lead changes in this race, I believe.
Yep, most ever lead changes in a short track.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I think only 5 racers finished on the lead lap, I want to say. When the leader finished. It was really cool watching those last like 30 laps because they're only about like 20 seconds a lap. Watching Martin Truex and Denny, duke it out. Truex passed him with like 10 laps, I want to say, remaining, and then he only passed him for like maybe a couple laps. He only led a little bit, but then yeah, Denny got back into it, and watching them maneuver through like all that traffic was really cool, and it was funny to see because usually when cars are lapped, they like let you go by, but the cars that were only lapped by one lap, they were still like in 10th place, so like they didn't want the leaders to go by again, so they were kind of like blocking the leaders. So it was fun to see how Denny and Martin were trying to get by those types of cars.
Yeah, yeah, I think I was gonna talk about the same thing, that the last 10 laps, 30 laps even, were just as exciting or more exciting than any other lap. And like you said, only a few cars even had anywhere close to a chance to win that race. Going through the lap traffic was awesome to watch. And you look at the top three in the end of that race, and they're all really, really, really experienced drivers. And I think that is a testament to how hard it is to go through all this lap traffic. And like you said, they have to keep trying. You want to get the pass to get the lap around if there's another caution. You you're still fighting for major playoff points there. So that was really cool. Hamlin, Truex, Keselowski. That's an experienced group right there.
Yeah, and that's where the adaptability comes in. Those are all veteran guys.
Yep. And I think that is week number 2 of Keselowski making a little bit of a comeback. We kept saying he needs to start showing up. He had a bad 2 years. This is the beginning of it. He got a third place last week, and then a third place this week. That brings him right back up into right in the thick of things. So, definitely good on his part. Uh, yeah, that's all I have to say about Keselowski. He's getting hot at the right time.
Yeah. I was just surprised in general how empty Bristol looked. I don't know if you looked into the stands. It was empty. And I mean, Bristol holds 150K, I think we talked about last week. I know their night races where they usually get sold out, but no way. I don't think it was sold out this week. So I was
Yeah,
surprised about that, for especially for how exciting of a race that was.
yeah, yeah. I also saw that, and I kind of figured we should show up like 25 laps in and just see if we can just sneak in then.
Honestly, they'd probably just let anybody in.
Yeah. Ty Gibbs. So I want to go back. I made a mistake last week. For those of you that watched last week, I had a brain fart and said that Ty Gibbs would be the rookie of the year, and that we had already discussed that. I misspoke, and I meant Josh Berry, but was talking about Ty Gibbs. So there was a lot of confusion there, but I think Gibbs had a phenomenal race. This race and last race, but Josh Berry is the front runner to win Rookie of the Year. I was all messed up.
I'll let you off the hook there. We're all surprised how Ty Gibbs is doing this year. So
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I
it's your
love it. Sweep the first 2 stages, and just had a really fast car.
yeah, and look at him again for this week at COTA. He's officially one of the favorites, which is surprising to win the race. I think he's like plus 1200. I want to say, maybe even better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Other than that, I really don't have a lot to talk about Bristol. It was one of the most exciting races, and I want to leave it like that. If you guys didn't watch it, you should probably go see at least the highlights, because that was a fun race to watch.
yeah, I say we venture off into COTA now.
COTA.
Circuit of the
Americas.
Americas.
Going to Austin, Texas. The EchoPart Automotive Grand Prix this Sunday. The 3.43 mile road course.
Yes.
It's going to be another exciting one.
I can't wait. I like the F1 documentary, and I love road courses because of that. So going into road courses for NASCAR and having some previous F1 racers in the field is going to be cool. Now, this course is 20 turns, which is one of the highest amount of turns in a road course. So this will take a lot of stamina and a lot of just skill to downshift, upshift, and know when to brake and take the outside, the inside, and how to pass. It's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, it's only 68 miles, 68 laps for a total of 231 miles. But like you said, it's going to require stamina. One of the least mileage that we'll have all year, but turn in both directions, constant, like braking on the gas, like it's going to require a lot. And I think that there are really only 5 drivers that I think have a chance here. You may disagree
You
with
want to
that.
talk about them?
I want to see where your head is first, and then I will fill in those gaps.
Well, let me just ask you, since we did talk a little bit about F1 drivers, how do you think about Shane Van Gisberg?
Well, I will.
Gisbergen, such a hard name to say. SVG.
Yeah, let's just call him that. I have him as one of those 5,
Okay.
and I
mean,
know
he's
that's
1 for 1 in NASCAR races.
exactly. But I think I don't watch a lot of other racing other than NASCAR, but I do know that he is a very, very quick driver. Chicago was more similar to this race than any other track that you will go to this year, and he blew everyone up last year. So just for the fact that he has a winning experience in NASCAR.
Yeah. No, I really want to get behind him. I think just his price is way too high. I don't want to bet on him. At least I will be rooting for him. But just his one NASCAR experience in the rain in Chicago. I mean, he won that race. Good for him. But I think it's going to be a whole different ball game down here in COTA.
That's definitely fair. Yeah, I think that it's good for the sport to see these guys come into NASCAR, and especially their interviews during the weekend about maybe how difficult this is, how similar it is, whatever it is to link these series, because we all know that Formula One is a dominant racing series in the world, and I think the more crossover racing that you see within all series, it's just going to benefit the whole sport in all these areas. And I think it's very good that we see people like him come into this race.
I agree. And you also got Kamui Kobayashi, which if you stick around later, I'll be one of my Dick's picks are on him. But yeah, I would like to see, this is his first Cup Series race. I would like to see what he's all about. And if he's anything like SVG on his debut, why not give him put a little bit of money on him, see what he's got.
Yeah, I would go. I might just toss a few bucks on him to finish up there, because you never know. You absolutely never know with these guys.
Right.
But I am gonna go with the masses here, and my favorite is Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick, yep, he's definitely the favorite going into this week, odds wise, and for a good reason too. He won last year. He's really lighting it up this year as well. So I could definitely see him. I don't bet favorites. It's just not enough bet. It's not enough money that I could win on it. So
Right.
we'll see if I could do a matchup with him.
Yeah.
But at least I will not bet him outright.
Yeah. Plus 380 is really not worth it when you are looking at like all these other guys that are over plus 1,000. I mean, it's a huge drop off. You have Chase Elliott right behind him at plus 650, and then you have your third down Ty Gibbs at plus 1,000. So yeah, you're right. That is
Yeah.
really not
I
worth
mean,
it.
if you're gonna bet on him, I would wait till after qualifying. Maybe he has a slip up in qualifying, qualifies pretty low. Maybe he has some technical issue, and then his price is gonna go way down. So maybe you could get him for a discount there. But you did talk about Chase Elliott. Is this the week? Is he finally gonna get a win and come back?
I think that he is gonna be up there the whole race. I don't know if he's gonna win, but I do think that this is gonna be his first time racing here since his broken leg, and the year before that he won. So I don't want to say Tyler Reddick won because Chase was out, but maybe he Chase Elliott has been known to be the best road course driver in the series, and that's been for the past 3 years. And of course, we know he had a little bit of a disappointing season last year, and then he was out with his leg injury and a suspension served. So now that he's back and he's been back for a while, I like Chase Elliott and I like um, the Chevy camp here.
I do like the Chevy Camp as well, but I mean, you can't not talk about Toyota. I mean, Toyota is looking great the past couple races, and just because of that reason, I know it's a road course this week, but don't count them out. I think they still got a heck of a shot.
Absolutely. I mean, two of the top three guys are Toyotas. Now, I do want to point out, as good as Toyota's doing, that's how bad Ford is doing.
Yes, Ford is very susceptible to just a lower tier driver just taking that lead Ford car. So if you do want me to say my first dick pick,
I do.
it's a good segue into this. I think the top Ford will be Noah Gragson. He is at plus 3,000 to be the top Ford. And Michael McDowell is the front runner for the Fords. So if that's saying anything, I think that anybody could be the top Ford. So bet him if you want a good payout. I mean, he's one of the lower underdogs for the Ford camp, but I think anybody could really win it. So yeah, no Gregson plus 3,000.
I like it. Just keep them going. I wanna hear them all.
Okay, Allmendinger. I can't believe we haven't talked about him yet. I mean, he's one
Hey,
of the best road course
hey.
drivers out there. I I think the best price I could get on him for the odds that he's at is going to be the top 10. I found him at minus 125 for a top 10. I think that's a lock. That might be my lock of the month here. So get him
Lock of
at
the
top 10.
month?
Yeah, if you could get him under minus 150, I would get that right away. That's a steal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Allmendinger's not looking for any like stage points, and we didn't talk about there's no stage breaks here, so you're gonna have like your Logano's, your Blaney's that don't really have a chance at winning the race. They're gonna just stick around and try to win a stage to get some stage points. Um, so if you can find, I haven't been able to find any bets, but if you can find like a stage winner, like a first stage or second stage winner, at like Logano or a Blaney, like I said, try to hop on one of those because they'll have lower odds because the leaders are going to stay out or they're going to pit right before the stage breaks to be in better position to win the race.
Yeah, I like that statement a lot. That's something that if you're not expecting it, you are waiting for that stage to end and the cars to pull off and pit. And I'm glad that you said it because I don't even know if I was thinking that. I
Yeah,
probably would have been
it's
like, "What the
well
hell? Why are
overlooked.
they still going?"
Yeah, that's like a newer rule. I think they started like maybe last season or the season before, for a couple tracks. And then my last pick, Kamui Kobayashi, Group I winner. He is those people in that group are Blaney, Logano, Cindric, and Kobayashi. Plus 375 for Kobayashi to beat those three.
Sounds pretty good too. Um, read that group again.
Blaney, Logano, and Cindric.
The Fords.
Yep.
Hmm.
Kobayashi's a Toyota, and I
It,
think just because the manufacturer is just better in general, that's why I'm taking them. However, I haven't talked about Cindric. I do like Cindric, and I was about to pull the trigger on a Cindric top 10. I found him at plus 110. I'm still debating on that. I might wait till after qualifying to see what he does.
I don't know if I love Cindric on a road course, and I'll tell you why. Um, well, first, his only win in the Cup Series was at a super speedway, so very different kind of driving. But two, uh, if you listen to the drivers' radios, you hear about how frustrated drivers get at Austin Cindric going into tight turns. Like he was on everyone's mind in Bristol. He is reckless when he comes into those tight turns, and he is liable to spin other people out, spin himself out, and yeah, I forget exactly who was saying it, but was cussing him out and he's a moron and stuff like that. So we talked about drivers' tempers flaring up. They started to on Austin Cindric, and for our sake, I want that to carry on through the next race, and then maybe there's a little bit of a duel. But um, based on what other drivers are seeing, behind their wheel about his recklessness inside those turns, I'm going to stay away from Cindric.
Yeah, that's definitely a risk reward driving. If drivers do get a little pissed about him, you could easily get away with a little spin out here and there. So you might get intentionally wrecked. However, if he can pull it off and he doesn't get wrecked, then that'll pay off in the long run. And I think a top 10 there and is easily in his sights. And he's not too bad at road courses. I mean, he hasn't been good anywhere else other than Daytona. So road courses are his second best, even though his second best ain't that good. I think this is just a if you're gonna bet on him in like fantasy, I think I'm taking him in my fantasy lineup, just to get someone that I don't usually take because you only get like what 10. You only get to pick the same driver like 10 times a year.
Yep,
So
that's right.
look for him in your fantasy lineup. Yeah, and like you could get your Kobayashi and your SVG out of the way here too. So why not?
Yeah, that's a good idea, and if anyone wants to join our league, we would love to have you. You'll probably end up beating me. That's not very hard to do, it seems like. But our league is called. Do you know? It's the Drinking and Driving Podcast, of course. The Drinking and Driving Podcast. There's a few members there that we actually have a pretty tight grouping in the fantasy league. So come on, join us. If you beat us, we'll send you some merch.
Yeah, we might actually open up a few more fantasy leagues to get you guys to come out and compete with us if we fill up way too many. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and just saying, I am 92,000th in all NASCAR. So
Yeah, actually,
good
just
luck
send us
beating me.
if you already have a fantasy, you're already in one. Just send us what your ranking is or how many points you have throughout the season,
I'll look
and
you up.
we can get you on a leaderboard.
Yep. Awesome. COTA. Lots of fun things around there. It's Austin, Texas, which is the new New York of the South. Uh, Everyone and their mother's going down there right now. If you're a comedian or musicians, they're all going there, and for good reason. There's a lot of fun things to do around there. Do you know of any?
Yes. So if you're gonna be camping there, You have the Camper Appreciation Party Friday, 6 p.m. Free beer, Busch Light. That's what I'm drinking now.
What? Free beer?
Free Busch Light.
That's awesome.
I know. I don't know where that was at Daytona, but whatever.
I'm signing up.
Yeah, seriously, I might go down next year. Actually, I really do want to go to COTA. I see all these things happening right here, and it looks awesome. So Corey LaJoy is also going to make a guest appearance at that Camper Appreciation Party, live auction, and a concert by a DJ. I'm sure he's fine. It's just a no-name DJ. This is where I'm looking at. If I were down there, go to the Barbecue Showdown on Saturday. There's 3 categories of barbecue: 1/2 chicken, pork spare ribs, and brisket. I couldn't read my handwriting.
Man.
The top 5 in each category get prizes. First prize gets $5,000. In Austin, Texas people in general, freaking great at barbecue. I guarantee you, wake up in the morning, you smell that barbecue, you're not gonna be hungover at all.
No, you may cream your jeans too. I mean, I don't know if you guys like barbecue as much as me, but they don't call me Tex for nothing. I would be all over that.
Right. And they don't call me Dick for nothing. I'd be creaming my jeans.
It might have something to do with you being named Richard, but I don't know. It fits.
Hey, if it fits. Then we got the fan zone. It barely fits. We got the fan zone open all weekend, Friday through Sunday. Obviously, this is at every track. But Sundays, free coffee when you're hungover. That free coffee in the morning is a game changer. There's going to be a meet and greet with Michael Waltrip and Kyle Petty, 10 to 11:30 in the fan zone. Also, I was looking at videos of this when I was researching. There's a Red Trouser show and Accidental Acrobatics going on all weekend. There's shows a couple times throughout the day.
What does that mean?
That's just the name of their little activity thing.
Oh, I thought they were
their little
doing
band.
acrobatics.
Oh yeah, I think no. If you actually watch the video, it looks like they're accidentally doing acrobatics. They're like not coordinated at all, but they actually do a bunch of shit. So that looks sweet. They do like fire breathing, contortionist stuff, like acrobatic circus type acts, you know? Yeah. So that's twice a day, Saturday and Sundays, 10:15 and 12:30 if you want the specifics. And what is Texas, like Central Time?
They I don't even know. Yep.
Central. Austin? I don't know. There's probably like 3 different time zones in Texas is that big. And then a really cool thing, you got the lumberjack competition, which I think this was at a other racetrack earlier, and I talked about it, and it looks sweet as well. I was watching videos. They do a bunch of like cutting, chainsaw races, the log walking, whatever, like that on water. I don't know what that's called. Speed climbing, speed carving, all that cool thing that dope ass lumberjacks do. So yeah,
that's awesome. Always stuff to do around the NASCAR track. This is a even more exciting one. The Circuit of the Americas team puts on a really good show. Now, if you are looking to get away from the track, there's still plenty to do in the Austin area. It's all centered around food, music. That's the main stuff. Food and music. That's why Austin is so famous. Get you some barbecue. Any meat is gonna be good there. You'll see some musicians that should never be playing on these little stages. Any little bar that you walk into, a little restaurant, you may be seeing the next Luke Combs or something like that. They are just super talented. And of course, for anyone that is looking to go to the comedy shows, the Mothership is a new comedy club owned by Joe Rogan, and he's always got his friends there doing all kinds of
is that where Joe Rogan is stationed now? Yep. Is that where he does it? Austin, Texas? Okay.
Yep, just about every comedian moved down there, and they work at that club. You know, when they're not on tour, they're trying new stuff out. So you'll never know who you're gonna run into when you're at the comedy Mothership.
I did hear about that. Yeah, like they just show up and like, hey Joe, can I get on tonight?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that'd be cool. Definitely try that out then. I would go.
Yeah. So, let's draft.
Okay, it's time for that already.
I think so. I mean,
okay. Why not?
I think it'll spark up some more conversation. about who we like going into the weekend. We talked about it a lot, but we are going to let's support our picks. So you can do the honors of picking a top. Well, there's 39 drivers, so
Yep.
top 19 driver for the week. Who do you
Okay.
want?
I talked about him earlier. I will go with AJ Allmendinger. You can't leave him out. Even if he doesn't win, he's going to be a top tenner easily. So I'll take Allmendinger.
Yeah, I think you already talked about it, so we don't need to support that one. That's good. I, however, am gonna go with one of the favorites. I said I like him because,
He's just a
well,
good guy.
he's just an all around good guy. No, Chase Elliott, um, he's proven as one of the best drivers on a road course. He didn't have a chance to do it last year, and he won the year before. There's a very slight chance of some weather coming in, and he's won this track on uh, when it's completely dry and when it was sopping wet. So I'm gonna go with Chase Elliott as my first pick.
Okay, I'll be rooting for him too. I love him. He's the people's driver.
The people's driver. I used to be all for him, and now I'm like iffy on him. Um, I really am at the point in my NASCAR fandom that I can love or hate every single driver in any single time. Like I used to despise Kyle Busch. I love Kyle Busch.
Yeah, definitely bipolar NASCAR fans.
Yes.
I was the same
All
way.
right. You got oh, do you want me to take
You
my
go.
lower
Yep.
pack? Ooh. So this is where um I think I get the advantage of having that snake pick because just below the threshold is Kobayashi.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take my chances.
Hopping on the train.
And yep.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
Who do you like?
I don't have the lower half in front of me, but can you give me the odds on Bowman? Is he a lower tier driver?
Unfortunately, Bowman is 14th in the odds. So
Okay. I will take, I'm sure Gilliland is the lower driver.
odd.
Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, he just made it. He's
Okay.
a 23 pick.
I will accept him into my lineup. And just like I said, he is a Ford driver. I think he has a good shot at being top Ford as well. And even though the Fords are a little weaker here, if you're a top Ford, you're still going to probably break top 10 ish, top 15 for sure. So, with that said, I will just take a lower tier driver to do a high finish. Maybe not necessarily win the race, but a higher finish.
I get it. And that's what it's all about. As long as your guy finishes and finishes maybe in the top half, you benefited from your back half driver. I mean, they're not supposed to be in the top. But if they can sneak their way through, man, you can sure capitalize. All right, let's get our randoms. You would be first. So, for those of you that remember, we put in a random number generator, 1 through 39, because there's 39 drivers, and based on their entry, the entry list, that's how we will pick it. So, Dick, your pick is
I've been
number
really slacking on these ones too. I've been getting
number.
terrible drivers.
So we actually have to repick because you had the number 8 pick, which is
Oh,
EJ Allmendinger. So
oh
you would have got him
no.
for free.
Man, I was waiting for that to happen. Damn.
All right, and your next is 25. 25, that's a solid one. Bubba Wallace.
Okay, I will talk quickly on Bubba Wallace. He's had a lackluster last three races here at COTA, but he's had some technical issues all three times, and in practice and in qualifying, he's actually done pretty well here. So look for him if you get good odds. If you want a long shot, Bubba Wallace might sneak up there.
Yeah, and I heard that at the new racing headquarters for the 2311 team. They put in one of the best simulators that money could buy, better than any other team, and I know that those guys have been really buckling down on their road courses. So that's a good pick, even though it was luck of the draw.
It's a good random draw.
All right, mine is number 36, Kaz Grala.
Okay, I think he's actually the bottom. He's the worst odds driver, I believe.
He
So
is. He's tied for the worst with Timmy Hill and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
perfect.
So that's great. Yeah, I'm sure gonna make up some ground in this week. I'm sure. I think I need a win. I need a Chase Elliott win and maybe sweep the stages, and then Kobayashi to be in the top 5, and I might be able to sneak my way back into the running. We'll go through and we'll post on our socials the true standings, what we scored on all these races. But Dick here is leading by over 200.
Which is a lot
That is
for
plenty.
4 races right now. So
Yeah. So hopefully I come back. The same thing happened last year.
a lot of season
One
left.
person goes way up, then the other person comes way back down, and so I'm still in it. I'm keeping my head up, and I'm gonna pick good drivers every time. But let's just see how Texas goes.
Yeah, I'm super excited to watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, cheers
Cheers.
and yeah.